Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 13th Board of Trustees meeting. Let's start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Oh, we set? Okay, we have some additions to the agenda, so we need to get a motion for adding action item 8. Who would like to?
I'd like to make the motion. This
Need a
is,
second? That's okay, just
Okay.
public safety building generator replacement is the topic. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any input on why or why not it should be added? Good, okay. All in favor, say aye. Action item number 8.
Aye.
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 All opposed? None? Okay. That will be
We
number,
move that up on the agenda too?
well, what I'm just gonna do is have it first.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it first. It's still gonna be number 8. And I'm just gonna move it up because the majority of our public here tonight is for that item, and we'll get them in and out if that's okay. All right, we have another add-on. I think, Kevin, would you like to,
I believe that was mine. Can we take that off the,
you don't want that added on?
no, thank you.
All right, then we can just remove that. Okay, so now I'm gonna need a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None? Okay, motion carried. So we got just number 8. We're gonna put number 8 first after we're done here. No presentations tonight. And I think, Brian, do we have more than one public comment?
Yes, I do have one.
Okay, I'd rather read those up front. I would just like to say this. One is from a trustee, Mark Mills, who cannot make it tonight. And I just thought it'd be appropriate that we put it before any of the action items because he would like his comments known before the action items were voted on. So I think it's appropriate that you read that too. You go with the young man or young ladies first.
All right. Dear citizens and board members, I regret that I'm unable to attend tonight's board meeting in person, but I would like to provide my comments on the action items up for discussion. Action item number 1 and 2, zoning. I strongly recommend that the board approve these items. The proposed improvements are essential to supporting our community development and code enforcement teams in carrying out their responsibilities effectively and helping in maintaining Grosse Ile's appeal. Action item number 3, legacy costs. I propose that this item be tabled until we have a clear understanding of the legacy costs involved, as well as a defined plan for how these costs will be funded moving forward. Action item number 4, realtor services. I believe the board should consider selecting an agency within a 30-mile radius that offers the lowest commission rate. A local realtor will have a deeper understanding of the downriver market and will be a better position to serve the township's interests. Action item number 5, cell tower services. I strongly urge the board to approve Urban Wireless Solutions. Based on interviews with all relevant parties, I'm confident that Urban Wireless is the most capable provider of meeting our current and future cell tower service needs. Action item number 6, review of past financial decisions. Without going into extensive detail at this time, I encourage the board to move forward with interviewing the firms that submitted bids for this request. It is essential that we thoroughly review past financial decisions made by township officials to ensure they align with the best interests of Grosse Ile Township and its residents. Action item number 7, salary survey consultants. I'm in full support of this initiative and strongly encourage the board to proceed with interviewing consultants to conduct a salary survey. Thank you for your attention. Mark Mills, Township Trustee, ZBA Liaison. That's all I have.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had another one. Thought there was 2 today. Okay, my mistake. All right, thank you very much. Now let's go to the audience. Any public comment? Does anybody, would they like to say anything about, you could say, it doesn't have to be on the agenda items, it could be on anything in the beginning or the end, public comment, both you can do either. Is anybody, did you said you had something? Come on up. Oh, was there some,
Oh, in the back.
Yeah, did you want to come up, Kathy? Yeah, no, come on up, Kathy. I'm sorry I didn't see your hand go up with the podium there.
Kathy Walker, 26051 Thorpe Court. I've been hearing that there's been discussion about the Communication Commission coming back, which it should. I was the chairman for, I think, 6 years. And my question is, I heard that the 3 people applied and they didn't get accepted for whatever reason. And I remember how hard it was to get people to volunteer, whether they were qualified to do the job or not. It was hard. People don't want to volunteer. A lot of people want to get paid to volunteer, which that's another topic entirely. But the bottom line is, I remember Uta, who was on the board for about 20-some years. And I don't often quote Uta, but in this case I will. She said, as long as you're 18 and you live on Grosse Seal, you're eligible to be on a commission. And I will tell you, because I had to do the website, I didn't have the knowledge. I went back to school, paid for it myself, and turned out pretty good. In fact, Loftus even complimented me in public, which amazed me. But anyways, everybody, even if they didn't have the knowledge, they could contribute. And I think that should be, people should open their eyes and heart to that, because it's hard to get people. And you'd be surprised how they will grow in the position and if they're given the chance, if they want to do it. Because if they really have an interest, I had an interest because I wanted, to do it, but you'd be surprised. So I just want you to keep a little bit of an open mind and remember that anybody who lives on the island and wants to volunteer should be considered seriously and not dismissed without, I don't think anybody on the board really has, the knowledge of the computer skills we need. Even the trustees, you have to get, outside help, and you can. But just open your heart and your eyes to whoever wants to volunteer, because it's important to have a communication commission. People want to know what's going on, and they're not going to be looking at some piece of paper online. They watch the TV. They really do. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times we had a meeting, and I'd have so many people calling me and wanting a little disc so they could watch it again and again. It was important to them. They want to know. And our township has a disproportionate number of older people, so you really have to kind of, I'm not saying spoon feed them, but help them along and make it very user-friendly for them. So that's all.
Thank you, Kathy. Scott, oh, I'm sorry, the gentleman, did somebody, come on up. Come on up. Just give your name for the record, please,
Hi,
sir.
good evening. Steve Rogers on West River Road. I have some other pickleballers who are here, and some got sick tonight, but just a lot of questions and confusion over what's going to happen with the tennis center. There's no real communication, and the way that building belongs to certain parties and their priorities versus other priorities of other activities. I'm just curious, what is the objective for the community? Is that an important service of the community to have an indoor recreation facility that has racket sports and fitness and places for, like my wife does, the elderly to have chair aerobics, other kind of aerobics activities in that building? What's the plan? Who owns the plan? What's the objective? We just don't know anything.
I can comment.
I'd like to have somebody answer that. We usually don't, not all the time we give answers, just sometimes we don't have them, but I'd like the people to understand this. So if Jameson could.
Yeah, so I'm the rec liaison, and to be clear, the hangar is not part of Rec's properties, right? It's actually airport, so Bill may have some additional comments. He's on the airport commission. But the issues with the facility, the township isn't kicking anybody out of there, right? That's been something that's been floated around, that the township's kicking people out, and that's not the case. The township, I shouldn't even say the township, because the airport is a enterprise fund. So it's separate from township finances, and it's directed separately from township finances. In fact, we have kind of limited authority over the airport enterprise fund. However, so I just want to be clear that the township, recreation, nobody is kicking anybody out. There is, obviously that facility costs a lot to maintain, right? It's close to 100 years old. It's a peculiar construction. It's a wooden hangar. It's obviously already in a state of poor repair. We've spent $500,000 on it already over the past 4 years, just repairing the roof. So, and this is just me as the clerk speaking, right? Not speaking on behalf of the board, but there's a certain point where I start to wonder, are we throwing good money after bad? And do we need to start looking at alternatives to this particular facility, right? And that's where I'm at. So, but I want to make it clear the township is not kicking anybody to the curb. We hear you guys when you're like, hey, we need an indoor rec facility. I'd love to have one too, right? I'm a active person as well. So, and I don't know if Bill wants to make any additional comments. Okay.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Bill.
The airport is operated by the Airport Commerce Park Commission. People come there to rent properties. They have an agreement in a way that's a business contract, like anybody that would sign a lease to rent whatever. And there has been an arrangement with the current occupant over an extended period of time. And it didn't work out, is what it amounts to. I mean, you have to agree. You have to agree to what you're putting in writing that you will do. I'm not going to go into the details. It's just that it didn't work out. So now the point is, you find someone else, and the process of doing that is underway. There's alternatives going on. I'm not at ease at disclosing what they are, but there's an attempt to get something in that it would be useful or workable. But just the way the structure is put together is pretty much like you'd see in a business. In a way, they're not a business, but they are in a way too. And you pay the rent as you agreed, that they agree to maintain, or you agree to maintain, and you keep moving on. And so that's what they do. They manage that property, and we have an airport, and we have a lot of wonderful social activities that go on there. And businesses that thrive, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what happened there. People enjoy it, but it didn't work out.
May I just add something, Bill, to that,
Sure.
since we're just in public comment? Mr. Rogers, I think, as I stated, as the supervisor, I think it's important sometimes to explain some things to certain people that is important for the group. And they are in negotiations with an individual. I did meet with Janelle. They are negotiating right now to try and get somebody in there. So that's all I can tell you right now. I kind of went a step further than Bill, but I think that that's appropriate in this case. So thank you for coming up,
All right.
giving your comments, and we'll let you know.
All right, but it is a priority for the community to have
Well, we got that.
something like that.
Yeah.
We're tracking.
Some-
Oh, yeah, no. We definitely got that, sir.
Yeah, because I mean the place is great, but without the prioritization of that as a higher level versus a lower prioritization as part of an airport,
Right.
It's not cooled, so it's 1 billion degrees in there. It's so humid, you can't hardly use the courts, right? So that limits the people that'll come there. In the wintertime, it's freezing cold, and that chases people away. So whoever this new entity is that's coming in, they're going to face those same challenges the current guy has got.
You're correct.
There's
on that.
issues,
Yes.
and they're
You're
expensive
correct, but
issues.
we're hoping things will work. That's all I can tell you right now. So thank you.
All right, just one more of an add-on since the clerk. I noticed this year's property taxes, the line item detail's gone, just got replaced with one big clump, $6 million or something like that. Was that done on purpose, or?
That shouldn't be the case. I assume you don't have it with you, do you?
No, I just thought
Okay.
of it when I saw
Maybe
your
you
name.
should bring it by.
All right,
So and chat with Deputy Clerk Thiel or Township Manager. I'm sorry, Friel and Thiel. So one of them can probably help you out. It definitely shouldn't just be bulk taxes.
Yeah,
so
appreciate that.
Sounds
Thanks.
like an error of
All
some
right,
kind.
thank you. You good? Scott, do you want to come up?
Everyone, Scott Longton, Groseal Police Commission. Your Honor, like I'm in court, Your Honor.
That's right.
Michelle gets it. Couple things. Just wanted to comment on the generator project. As a commission, we voted unanimously in support of replacing the generator. There is significant concern about the continued longevity of that generator. It's 33 years old. The vital necessity of that with our police department is of the utmost importance. If we were to lose power like we have in the past, given the electrical infrastructure on the island, which anybody who lives here long enough knows that that's always of concern. It is necessary to maintain all of the 911 systems, things of that nature. Supervisor Porcelli, you would know the most, second to the chiefs in position today, that it's necessity. It's a necessity for the department, for the township, for the the emergency dispatch systems to go out. So with that, I would ask the support from the township today and voting to support that because it's a necessity. Real quick to comment on the gentleman with the racquetball. I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but a number of islanders went off island because they would not support the younger groups, younger children coming there with their parents for working out and playing racquetball. Myself being one, so that is just something to consider when you're looking at when they're looking at whoever's going to take that over. It was a large loss of income and revenue that they created for themselves by not allowing parents and their children to come and work out, use the facilities, things of that nature. So myself being one of them, I took my family to a different location. So something to think about, gentlemen, something to bring up.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Kurt, did you want to come up? You're good? Everybody else good from the audience? Okay, thank you. All right. Public comment. Kevin, would you like to do the consent agenda, please?
I move that the board approve consent agenda 25-066, consisting of the minutes of the September 22nd, 2025 regular meeting, the check register dated October 10th, 2025 through October 10th, 2025. Please remove check 87730 from the check register. It's been pulled. And the planning commission appointment. And that is it. Do we have a second?
A second.
That error in the minutes. Can we pull the minutes out to have those fixed?
What are you referring to?
Okay, it said that we approved that $25 check for the Freedom of Information Act request. So if you look on there, it just says we were unanimous that we approved it.
I'll have to look at it.
Okay, but if you can look at that and fix it.
So,
If you do that, I'll second.
yeah, Brian, how do you?
Yeah,
I don't think we've had that before.
Yeah, if there's just a clear error that's easy, I'll just fix it, and then as long as you're good with me just fixing it, that doesn't have to come back.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
I'll second his motion if
that-
you guys are okay with it.
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
second the motion, then we'll
Yeah.
go ahead. Kevin, is there?
I had a question about the check removal. 87730 Valet Manager Incorporated, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's for the bridge that we are not happy with some of the things they are not completed
All right.
for the tech company. And I think it's in our best interest to hold that back.
Okay. I'm good with that.
We good? Anything else? Derek, do you need to add anything?
No, that's a
good.
good explanation. That came from Teresa and myself.
Yeah.
Joe explained it well.
Okay.
And we have reached out to our attorney to have them look at it and to give us guidance going forward.
Okay. Any other comments on the consent agenda?
I'd like to ask a question. What was the work to be performed and what was the deficiency?
The work to be performed was the tech company that we got, or the IT company, whichever way you want to look at it. They were supposed to have reports. They were supposed to be able to do certain things with the new system. and Teresa and myself and Derek are not happy with what they have already produced as what they stated they will do. So we are going to be holding back payment to them until they correct and get things right for us at the toll bridge.
I understand. Thank you.
Okay? Does that help?
Definitely. I
Okay,
understand.
so, we got a motion, a second, we talked about it. Approval of consent agenda 25066. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Action item number 1, William, that's yours.
Were you,
This is-
Joe, were you putting in the,
Yes, you're right, I was going to 8 first, my mistake. Thank you very much for reminding me, I had it on the other side. What we're gonna do, since the majority of the people here are for action item number 8, we are going to, just do 8 first, and we're gonna still call it 8, instead of making it one half like we do on all the other ones. So that's fine, let's go from there, and, that would be Margaret on that one.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the public safety building generator replacement. If I could get a second?
I'll second.
So it's recommended to the Township Board approves to contract with Gem Tech Group. It's a My Deal vendor to replace the backup generator in the public safety building. Police Chiefs Doug Carmack and Fire Chief Robert Roscoe are requesting Township Board approval to replace the existing backup generator in public safety building. The current backup generator is approximately 33 years old and has reached the end of its reliable service life. The new backup generator will ensure continued uninterrupted power to essential mission-critical public safety operations within the building. Upon board approval of the signed contract, the projected lead time for delivery of the generator is approximately 14 to 16 weeks, with an estimated project completion timeline of 6 weeks following that delivery. Funding for that replacement backup generator in the amount of $186,767 will be paid with cell tower funds.
Okay, you set?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Margaret. Anybody from the board have any comments or concerns? Mickey, you have something?
Especially since you looked right at me.
Well, it's yours.
So the generators had a lot of discussion about it, but the bottom line is the public safety building, we need it for 911 calls. We need it to make sure that the garage door will open to let our fire trucks and everything out. If the power went out and we didn't have that backup generator, then Bob or somebody is climbing to the top over the doorways to try to hit a release like you would hit in your own garage, only a lot higher. Might not sound like much, but if somebody's having a heart attack or there's a fire, that can make the difference. It can make all the difference in life or death. Our fire commission has the most experienced firefighters on there. I mean, we have Duncan Murdoch, we have business owners. Everyone has looked at this and said it is absolutely necessary that we get this. I'm almost done talking about it. There's been so much conversation, but I 100% agree that this needs to get purchased.
All right. Thank you, Mickey. Anyone else from the board? Comments, concerns, anything?
I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, sir.
In the 8 years I have been following township government, I have always supported public safety. I still support the police and fire departments. However, as township treasurer, I also have the responsibility to residents to make sure we are carefully spending tax dollars. With that in mind, I am requesting that a professional technical evaluation be completed on the 30-year-old generator to see if it is economically feasible to reuse it elsewhere in the township, or if it is, if it can be sold to offset the cost of the new generator.
All right, very good.
So I'm going to comment, Joe, if I could.
You certainly may.
So I want to be very clear. I believe all of us up here are equally concerned with how tax dollars are spent. What I consider even more important are the lives of the 10,000 plus residents that we have. This generator is mission critical. I will agree with Trustee Bartlett. We have spoken on this numerous times. The chiefs have put in tremendous amount of hours just to make sure that they have gone through everything possible and gotten the best deal possible. I make my decisions based on facts. I'm very transparent. We as a township cannot afford to ignore the need to replace this generator. Now, the action item is specific for this only. Are we going to replace the generator, approve that replacement, yes or no? Anything beyond that, that would be an additional action item. So I want to make sure we're all very clear on what this action item is. It's purely for the replacement of the generator.
I mean, I think what Kevin said is prudent, though. You know, I agree we need to replace the generator, but why not recoup the costs and either apply it somewhere else? So,
And we've had no problem with that, Jameson. In fact, there have been discussions with Trustee Mills on that we would have our person that is handling that review where somebody might want to place this and give them an estimate on what moving it, transporting it to where they'd like it, what it would be to do that hookup, etc. Beyond that, in this particular moment, this is the action item. We're not making an adjustment to this particular action item at this point in time.
But Jameson, oh, go ahead.
Oh, you sure? I do believe that Doug is following up on that and has
Correct.
followed up on it.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it necessarily needs to be an amendment to the action item. I think that, you know, we direct the administration to recover whatever funds you can from the sale or reapplication of the generator, right?
Well, we're not going to try to make a sale of it, if you will. Like I said, both these chiefs had put in a tremendous amount of time. So if everybody's in agreement when the person that's handling the generator provides this estimate, when somebody provides them with where did you want this to go, if that's something that the board would be amenable to based on that cost, then that's something that we could look into. But it shouldn't be factored into, you know, this vote today is all I'm pointing out.
Okay, what I'm taking, Margaret, and please, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth at all, but for something to change of the original amendment, the friendly amendment has to go to the individual that raised the amendment, and a second has to be done. So you've explained, I think, pretty clear that you would like to first have it voted on, the amendment itself, and you are not in the, or you would not want to add this to it, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right,
I'd like to just ask a question here. I think
you can
that
ask. Go ahead, sir.
it seems that this suggestion has some merit. I don't see any difficulty in just, if we think it does have merit, passing this thing as originally established and then turning around and making another move to investigate this and act on it. And it would be that simple. We don't have to worry about how hard anybody worked. We just have to make two.
Well, Doug is on that path, Bill. I don't know if, I mean, they've explained that Doug will be looking into what it costs to move, so this is already the path that he is on and that he's done.
If I understand you correctly, you're saying that this is going to take place whether or not we put it into a motion or act separately?
Yeah, no, Doug is
It was already- yes.
looking into it.
Correct.
Oh, well, then that's
Yeah.
fine. I think it's a
And
prudent
if
thing.
somebody, if we want to put it down here, if we want, he's going to get it to see what it would cost. But we need to get this thing in motion because of what it is.
And if I may, we're all business people on the fire commission. This isn't like coming to us as a surprise. We're going to look at these things regardless. What's before us right now is let them move forward, let them approve getting the generator, and then of course we're going to be asking questions, right? Is there anything we can do with it? What would that cost? Does it cost more than it's worth? But look at the fire commission and the people that are on that, as well as the two chiefs. I mean, like I said, we're all business people, so we will definitely look at those things. We don't need a vote for it.
Can I just ask though, Margaret, why is selling it not a consideration? Is it just junk? It's not worth any money, or?
I don't have an issue if somebody wants to take that on. I really am not comfortable with tasking the two chiefs to do that additional work with the amount of time that they have already put into this due to the conflict that has been created by some with respect to this.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the experts on selling generators either.
No,
right?
Derek and I are going to be looking
Okay,
into
I was just curious.
repurposing it, Jameson. Derek and I will be looking into that if maybe the possibility down here, something else maybe we could use it for, but first step, we got to get going here.
Right.
And this is important.
Right.
So, but we are going to look into it. I mean, we're not going to just, take it out and put it in the dumpster.
Yeah, nobody's saying it might not function in
Yeah.
a non-mission critical situation. Nobody has ever said that.
Right.
Within the space that it's currently in and what it currently does, this is not the right generator to continue to maintain our mission critical safety requirements for this township and its residents.
We're so ready
Okay.
to vote on this.
So,
We're ready.
is there any other comments? If not, we will vote on it. Anybody, we're good?
Yeah.
Everybody commented? All right. So we're going to go action item number 8, purchase of a new generator for public safety building. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, so motion passed, gentlemen. Thank you.
And thank you for all your hard work on it. We really do appreciate you.
Yeah, no, it is appreciated.
All right, thank you. So, William, you are now on number 1.
Yes. This is zoning text amendment to chapter 285-17.4D, clear vision triangles. The recommendation is as follows. The Grosse Ile Township Board hereby approves the zoning text amendments to chapter 285-17.4D, clear vision triangles. History and purpose.
Second.
Yeah, we got to get a second. Thank you, Jameson.
Thank you. Didn't mean to rush you.
Go ahead, Bill. You can do the history.
History, purpose, and explanation. The amendments to Chapter 285-17.4D, Clear Vision Triangles, come as recommended by the Township Attorney. The Township's historical interpretation and enforcement of this ordinance has been understood that any structure, whether temporary or permanent, that obstructs views of the waterfront where within clear vision triangles is prohibited. Adopting this amendment provides the Community Development Department the ability to accurately enforce this section of the ordinance to ensure that residents maintain waterfront views. A public hearing was held on and the ordinance was approved as amended at the Planning Commission September 29th meeting.
And if I may offer, would it be a friendly amendment to put the word playground equipment back in? I think the attorney put that in for a reason. And I think if you pay anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 for waterfront property, it doesn't matter what it is, you don't want it to block your view. And I believe that there has been some things in the past that have caused issues between neighbors because of the playground equipment. So it's
Okay.
just offering a friendly amendment that we put the term playground.
They put it back because I
equipment.
see, if you guys go to, I am sorry.
No, you're fine.
Were you done?
Yeah,
Because I want to go on to the ordinance, because I want to explain something.
nope, you're good.
I wonder, so this ordinance has been crafted by the Planning Commission or has been requested to be modified by the Planning Commission?
Requested to be modified by them during their meeting.
Okay, so
Did
the help of the
the
attorney,
attorney look
yes.
at it, Derek? Did Kristen look at this?
Can I just say something before we get too far into this? If you notice in here, what I noticed in the ordinance is that it says, not in the history that Bill read, and I get that, but if you look at the ordinance, it has a list of certain items. And why wouldn't, Derek, would you know why the ordinance doesn't just say what the history says? Because if it's a temporary or permanent structure, that covers everything. So what they've done is they've listed certain items.
It's just examples.
So I get that they're just examples, but if do we need? I'm in agreement with you to add that. If that's okay with you, just to add it, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, the reason you want to add it is because you don't know which judge you're going to get, and so you want to be very explicit in certain things that have come up in the past.
I
and
understand what
caused
you're
problems.
saying, and
Yeah.
that's
I need
why
to-
it says or placement of
Yes,
other temporary or
absolutely.
permanent structures.
I've
So-
taken,
Kristen wrote it that way for a reason.
There was a reason, so
Yes.
I agree with you that we keep this ordinance and we add what you're saying. Does the rest of the board agree with that?
I'm not sure that, I need to put a thought out here for consideration. I've taken an opportunity to talk to a couple of members on the planning commission since some conversations earlier.
Why wouldn't they want playground equipment when anything could be an obstruction in the vision triangle? Some playground equipment that I've noticed is pretty big.
It's huge.
It's a lot bigger than a bush or shrub or a,
It's my understanding from those I spoke with. My understanding is that the intent of this document has been in no way changed. It's just that all the items that were listed were removed, but the intent is identical. So the feeling is then that when you go to the judge will make the decision based on whatever a structure is deemed to be. It could be technically a broader list than what was already existing before. It's
why
my
would they
thought-
just have removed one item then, Bill, do you know?
They did not remove one item, as I understand it. There was a list of items on that bill, on that document prior to that, and none of them are there.
Yeah, what they did was they updated it to say any temporary or permanent improvement.
That comment supersedes or takes out the fact that you had whatever recreation equipment you wanted there, or a croquet set or whatever.
But I think there was discussion in the meeting about one of the individuals on the commission said, well, we shouldn't be telling them what kind of playground equipment they can or can't have. It's like kids
Well-
want to play on swings, but because this has been, like the trampoline, I believe, is what was an issue between two neighbors. So when you're going before a judge, you don't want the judge to interpret what any temporary or permanent improvement is. You want to say, Judge, it says trampoline right in there. And so that's why I believe Kristen wanted that to be
I would
very
just
clear.
agree if Kristen wrote or helped write this and reviewed it and wanted it in there,
Yeah.
there's a reason. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
See,
Because-
now, let me understand this clearly. I'm just providing information right now. I'm not making a decision. We are making one, but I'm not trying to influence it at the moment.
Okay.
I'm trying to
You're
make sure we
fine.
understand it.
Let us know
Go
what
ahead.
you're saying, what you're saying.
The reason that a trampoline was in there was because of the potential for 10-foot high nets. Is this the reason for it? So it was considered to be so significantly different than all the other stuff that it was worthy of specific mention.
Yeah, and I think they may have had a dispute earlier on that exact thing.
Well, it's my understanding that in that case, the one lawsuit that has taken place, the intent of the law was upheld.
Well, Derek, did you have something on this list?
Yeah,
Let
just
Derek speak.
a question of process. So if the planning commission received input and a draft from the attorney for which they had a public hearing, and then following that public hearing, they adopted or recommended this ordinance or these ordinance changes, Brian, is it proper for the township board to modify that and approve something different than what was presented at a public hearing and then thus approved by the planning commission?
Good point.
Can this be sent back to the planning commission?
You could send it back to the planning commission. I guess the question, is it proper for,
I would say, yeah, if you're going to want to modify it, I would say your probably best option is to send it back to them since it was done at a public hearing.
So the playground equipment was or was not part of it after the public hearing?
I didn't watch the meeting, so I can't.
I
I'd like
believe
to respond
what
to
was
that when you-
presented had the playground equipment in it. Following the public hearing and following the vote by the planning commission, what was put forth and to the township board had the removal of that, hence the
That's
the
correct.
line out
Then I
there.
think we need it in there to be correct in the process.
Right, so what you're recommending is it go back to the planning commission with a recommendation from the board to either conduct another public hearing or revisit it? Okay.
Correct.
But wait, maybe I misunderstood. If we had a public hearing and we wrote it up, and it went through the planning commission with the word playground equipment, why don't we?
It went through without,
They
they
struck
said,
it
let's
out.
take it out.
They
They
struck it.
One of
said-
the commissioners said, let's get it out.
Okay, when you told me one of the commissioners, I thought you meant arbitrarily. You're talking about at a meeting.
Yes.
No, not arbitrarily.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I
But at a
misunderstood
meeting.
you.
Yeah.
At a meeting.
At a meeting. I'm not getting technical.
And there was
but at
more-
a
You
meeting,
can get technical, you need to on
it
this
means a
stuff.
legal issue.
There were two, there was more than one.
Okay,
but
so
yes.
how do we bring this back then?
I just want to go back and reinforce something here, and I don't know this, I'm not a lawyer. But I firmly believe on the basis of the conversations that I have, that it's the belief of the people on the planning commission I spoke with, that the meaning and the intent of the document as modified is no different than it was previously. It's just that the language that itemized this, that, and the other thing is gone. It could technically, I suppose, say it will cover this, that, the other thing, and something else, because something else wasn't on the list before.
What I will tell you is that there was a court case. It was taken to a judge. The judge had in the planning department, community development department's opinion, the judge had a different opinion in his interpretation of the ordinance than what they felt the intent of the ordinance was. That's why the suggested changes to the ordinance.
Okay.
Yeah, the original ordinance had a list of things you couldn't have in the clear vision triangle. So if it wasn't on the list, you could have it, right? We enforced it like nothing could be in the clear vision triangle. So what this ordinance change is doing is matching the way we've been enforcing it.
Well, then it seems, if I'm hearing you correctly, that it needs to go back to the planning commission.
I don't think so. I actually disagree with you guys. I think it clearly states, that you can, in the clear vision triangles, the planting of continuous rows of shrubs, evergreen trees, or other vegetations, fences, or construction or placement of any temporary or permanent improvement that obscures the view along the shoreline shall be prohibited.
That's what I didn't understand. It says any.
It says any, right? I
permanent
can't put any kind of improvement in there.
Or anything.
Not our opinion that will control, it's the judge's opinion
Correct.
that will control. And the
Which
judge
is
in
why
the past
Kristen
has
wrote
shown a
it the way she
preference.
did.
And what we're debating about is whether or not it should go back to the planning commission, because
All right.
you're discussing adopting something different than what they've recommended that was part of a public hearing. So
If it's
that's,
part of a
and-
public hearing, then we have to go back
Right.
to them.
If I'm not mistaken, and Mickey, feel free to correct me, but specificity trumps vagaries, right? So if we get specific and we make a list, the judge is going to use that list. If we don't have a list and we just say you can't put anything there, then problem solved. You can't put anything there. So I think they were
Well-
intentionally vague about it.
I actually like the way the language is written here, because if you say you can't have anything, they're gonna say, well, you can have grass, you can have dirt, you can have some things, right? This way, it's like, it's saying anything that's temporary or permanent. I would say it's like playscapes, it's all that stuff. But because we know that we've already had an issue with the judge, we would never want to go back in that courtroom with another trampoline or something without that specifically in there.
I just wonder if we make a list, they're going to use the list, and what if it's not on the list? I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't think it was a list per se. It was like some examples to make it clear.
Well,
And
that's
I-
what it still is, though. It's examples. So either, it's not any different.
But those were the examples that caused the issue, so I think that's why she wanted it written that way. And
You're learning
okay,
from
so
your
if we
case
want
law.
to talk about who's an attorney on planning, their attorney was not there. He was not in attendance that day, so he couldn't really chime in on that. So everybody else up there doesn't have, a legal background. I would be personally more comfortable in keeping what our attorney put in as the language,
And so then you're saying it does have to go back.
in my opinion.
That we recommend it
yes.
go back.
Okay, let's
I
do
need
this.
to ask
We
a
recommend
question
that
here,
they
just
put it
just a
back
second,
in.
please.
If it goes back or doesn't go back, all depends on if you want it changed or not. If you're not going to change anything and just vote on it as is, it doesn't need to go anywhere, obviously. If you're going to ask for changes, then it should go back.
Without the playground thing in there.
That we recommend it go back and that they put the playground equipment back in.
Yeah. How do we do that then, Brian? I want it to go back then. I'd like it to go back.
You're just going to amend the motion to just basically say, or you can just vote it down, either way.
Right,
You just vote it down, it's going to go back to them.
gotta go back then.
Okay. Why don't we
have to clearly direct them to
Yeah.
to put that back in there.
Okay, then, why don't we vote on,
Yeah, just one thing before we vote, okay? Basically, if you're talking about law, the question is, what do these words mean? And over a period of time, you collect a number of cases that tell you some general idea of what the meaning of it is. And that's basically what this conversation is about here. And somehow, as I look at this, whatever we decide to do, we're going to have a new meaning, and it's going to take time for it to be fully understood. I happen to like the way that's put together right now because you never know. There could be an item within that triangle as a recreation item that was newly invented. I don't know what it would be. But if it's not on the list, does that make it prohibited? You see, if we stick to this narrow definition, and if you decide to make it more broad, why have anything in it? Just call it a recreation item. Everybody knows the difference between an electric scooter and one you push with your foot. They're both scooters, but you don't need laws on that. Well, you might if they're too fast.
We are saying, for example, we have EG and not IE, so that means, for example, just example these things. If we had said IE, then it would be limited to those things.
Well, then it's already speaking to the point I'm making.
Well, no, but you really need that playground. Put it this way, if I was Kristen and I did this language and I left playground equipment out, the managing partner would say, what is wrong with you? How did you miss that? That was what this whole thing was about. Like, it definitely needs to go in there.
that was what I'm not going to get into the lawsuit, but that's what it was about, Bill.
Right.
So I think, when Kristen does this, I think we need to do it, and we need to go back, so.
Then let's send it back.
All right, I would like to vote on this to pass or not. It's up to you. If it doesn't pass, it'll go back to the planning commission, and we'll direct them. So,
Can I say something before we vote?
certainly.
So, because this is an ordinance change, it requires the majority of the board's composition, not the majority of board members present. So for it to pass, it needs 4 votes, even though there's 6 of us here, so it would still need 4 votes.
Still need 4.
Right, but
Yes.
also it's the roll call.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so for action item number 1, zoning text amendments, chapter 285-17, 4D, clear vision triangle. All in favor, we'll do a roll call vote. Margaret?
No.
Wait, I'm sorry. What are we voting for?
We're
Are we
voting-
voting?
We're voting to pass this as is.
As
And if
is.
we say
Okay.
no, it goes to the planning commission. If we say yes, it goes as is.
Okay, I apologize.
No,
I just wasn't sure
I
which
want to
way
make
we were
sure everybody
doing it.
understands.
Okay.
Margaret?
No.
And Mark is not here. Kevin?
Yes.
Joe? No. Jameson?
No.
Mickey?
No.
And Bill?
I'm going to go with no, too. We have to get something we agree on.
That's fine. And now, because it's voted down, we direct this to go back to the planning commission to put that back in. We would like to see that back in. The term playground. Or what, I'm sorry, what was it? You have it up. I don't
The
anymore.
exclusion for playground equipment.
Playground equipment, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Bill, you have number 2. Let's try. Let's do it again. Let's see what we can get here.
The subject here is zoning text amendments to Chapter 285 for the purpose of upgrading performance guarantees. Recommendation. The Groseal Township Board hereby approves the zoning text amendments to Chapter 285 for the purpose of upgrading performance guarantees.
Second.
We read some more. History, purpose, and explanation. The amendments to various sections of Chapter 285 comes as recommended by the Township Attorney. Amendments provide the Community Development Department to increase performance bond guarantees to ensure that contractors are financially incentivized to complete construction projects. Furthermore, the amendments provides the Community Development Department to ensure construction projects to be completed within 1 year. Should contractors or residents need an extension, the amendments require contractors or residents to examine their permits prior to the expiration of a zoning or building permit. Should they fail to do so, contractors or residents must resubmit zoning or building permits to the Community Development Department.
All right, thank you. Is there any questions? Do we get the point on this one? It incentivized the contractors, if you will, and Derek, you probably could explain this much better than I can, but to get things done, basically, is what.
Yeah, it also strengthens the department's ability to enforce, like you said, the completion. They've been having issues with contractors walking away from projects or not calling for final inspections. It provides it some additional teeth to make sure projects get done because the purpose of permits, the purpose of authorizations to make sure the projects get done correctly. And when the contractor walks away from a project or doesn't finalize their project through the department, it doesn't achieve what their goal is within the department.
All right, thank you. Is there any questions from the board?
Can you give us an example of how this would work? Like, we have that huge multi-million-dollar house on East River, right? So how would that affect that construction? What would happen?
I don't think there's any issues with them walking away from bonds on a project like that. It's more about renewing their permits. That's where this would, affect that project, just to make sure that they don't have expired permits and they're continuing to work. Probably more than anything, it's, a contractor pulls a permit and then they just never final it out. They leave the bond and then just never check back in with the department. So it's always open-ended. So, the expiration of the bond, or I'm sorry, the expiration of the permit comes into play with this, and then also, making sure that the bond has significant enough conditions where there's enough financial incentive for them to come and clear it out rather than just leaving it.
So it's like they start a project and never complete it, or?
They never come back in and check back in. They basically get their permit, they do the project, and you never hear from them again. That's not the goal.
Walk away from it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And they might do the work, but they never come in and check back in with the department to make sure the final inspections take place so that we can see that the project is done and final it out in our books. Sometimes there hasn't been in the past enough financial incentive for them to do that because if they come in and we do a final inspection on it and there's something wrong, sometimes that cost of compliance can be more costly than their bond actually is. So this helps address some of that, as well as put some checks in place so that, permits cancel out, so that there's an automatic check and balance with that sunset of that permit rather than just be open-ended and never ending. So.
Isn't there something they could play with too? If they didn't come back, then they could say that they still, I thought that there's certain things they can do if they have a permit out.
You can address it through like certificates of occupancy, not issuing those. Mm-hmm. So they technically couldn't occupy the home, but those are only under certain types of construction permits where there is a C of O that's necessary or required. This covers other things, hot water tanks, furnaces. If they've never final them out, then it's just open-ended. You come to find out 20 years ago that the permit was never finalized out, and that's not achieving what the department's responsibility is, which is to ensure that projects are done safely, that there's a conclusion to the project, that it's inspected, and that it's a good product for the consumer.
Do they have to file to renew their permits if they don't do it within a certain time? Or
yes, and this actually tightens that up to
Okay.
make sure that within a year that they have to either complete the project or come back in, either resubmit their plans or reactivate their permit to make sure that, we have a good understanding of what permits are open currently and which ones are closed out.
And what happens if they don't come back?
There's fines. They have to resubmit their plans and resubmit the whole go through the whole process
Okay.
rather than just reactivating their permit if they do it before it expires, which is more costly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That helps a lot.
All right, any other questions? Action item number 2. Zoning text amendments to chapter 285 for the purpose of upgrading performance guarantees. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carried.
It's an ordinance.
Oh.
It's got to be a roll
Roll
call.
call, my mistake again. Let's go the other way. William, you first.
Aye.
Mickey.
Aye.
Jameson.
Aye.
Joe, aye. Kevin. Aye. And Margaret.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you for reminding me. All of you. All 5 of you that reminded me, thank you. That was all right, very good. I think Jameson, you have action item number 3.
I move that the Grosse Ile Township Board hereby authorize an increase in the annual employer HSA contribution from $2,000 per employee to $2,500, effective January 1, 2026. Eligibility contingent upon employees satisfying required wellness components to qualify for the funds.
I'll
Second.
So Grosse Ile recently received our quote for our 2026 healthcare renewal. The overall increase in healthcare premiums for 2026 is 12.4%. Under Public Act 152, the township contributions to healthcare premiums are capped by the state of Michigan at a certain amount. For calendar year 2026, the state has authorized 2.9% increase in the allowable allocate or contribution. The difference between the increase provided by the state of 2.9% versus the plan increase of 12.4% becomes the responsibility of the employee. And the following are some of the numbers to consider. And I'm not going to read all that. So essentially there's 3 items here: current, renewal, and then proposed. And if you look through the current, renewal, and proposed, you'll see that the proposed change reduces the increase to the employee but increases the deductible exposure by $500 or $1,000 annually. And to mitigate some of this potential deductible exposure, the suggestion is to allow some employees to be eligible for an additional $500 in employee wellness program HSA contributions. So it's a cost-saving measure for the employees and actually a cost-saving measure for us as well. So
Okay, is there any questions?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's an increase for us. Of
Yeah, I was just going to say.
36,000.
It is an increase. I would like to just comment on this. I think it's important to the workers here that we meet them sometimes. I'm not saying halfway, all the way, but I think we should meet them. Everything has really increased, and they are taking a chunk of it. We are taking a chunk, and I think that sets a good example. I know sometimes you can't just continue to give. I get that. I understand what contract negotiations mean. I understand what other things mean when it comes to benefits, wages, fringes, etc. But I think it shows that we are trying to at least, I guess I would say we're trying to at least help them with the amount that things have just gone up, and it's not that it's exponentially rising, but it sure is rising quicker than I thought it would rise or anticipated. So that's why we're doing this. Or that's why I will be voting yes for this. You have obviously your opinions. Does anybody else have anything to say on this one?
I would just like to echo your sentiments completely.
Okay.
Joe, if I may,
You may.
we won't have the total compensation study back in time, so to me, this is kind of like a good faith thing to do. And then later, when we get the total compensation study, we can look at the benefits, we can look at the compensation in
Oh, sure.
isolation. So
That's
for
an
right now,
excellent
it's
reason.
just-
Yes,
just
that-
good faith.
That is
step.
good. That exactly what, those 2 words is what I tried to explain.
Yeah.
Very good. It's in good faith. So, okay, very good. Anybody else have anything for even Teresa, even or Derek? Are we good? Okay, so action item number 3, budget amendment, employer HSA contribution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Okay, 1 nay, motion carried. All right, I'm going to read number 4. This is going to take some explaining. I have something I want to talk to the board about on this. The Grosse Ile Township Board hereby approves a professional services agreement with blank Realtor for the purpose of listing, showing, and assisting the sale of 2 parcels, 1 developed, 1 vacant. So 1 home, 1 empty lot. The parcel IDs are written down as follows: 73-014-02-0184-008. That would be at 20443 West River. That's the vacant property. And then 73-03-03-0017-000. That would be the home at 25146 Dallas Drive. Okay, now the history and purpose is obviously, it's down there. You can read that. It's to get a realtor for both of these. And I think what we need to do, we all know what the realtor's purpose is, but I think what, go ahead.
You need a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I get a second?
Second.
Okay. What I just said. So the point is, this is what I thought was fair, and you guys tell me what you think is fair. When I looked at all the realtors that put in for this, and Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought they were from all local. They're all local.
I think except for one.
They were, it was advertised outside of Groseal as well, so regionally it was advertised.
Yeah,
so.
okay. So I think, whatever the total was, I just, we can put in who you like, the lowest, it'd mean a difference of maybe $1,000 in the sale. But just me, I think it's fair that we either put in, our 3 favorite each, and then we draw out the one, or we put them all, and I know it's only a saying, but you put them all in a hat, because we know most of these realtors. I don't want to say we're picking one over another. They're all Macomb Street and Groseal and Downriver realtors. I just think it's more fair. That's just my opinion only. You guys will vote on whatever you want to do. But I just believe that in the fairness, now I know we go out for bids and usually to get the lowest bidder who does the best work. They get it, and that's the way life is. This is a little bit different. So tell me your input on this, if you agree, disagree, and we'll go with it, obviously the majority. But I had a hard time. I'm not sure who the 3 I pick aren't the 3 that I know. I mean, I have to be honest with you, and I'm not sure that's, I don't know if that's.
I agree with you completely.
If that's fair. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just know you and I have discussed this, and I think you're spot on. I think it's a fair way to handle it.
Okay.
I probably have a different view.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have 2 realtors. One sold $85 million worth in 7 years, and another one sold $55 million in 5 years. And so, to me, you go with the realtor who has proven to be able to sell and really go out of their way to get you the best price. I mean, they just have these facts backing them up. There's another one on here. She's a neighbor, and I love her to death. But I think just looking at this, you have 2 who have proven themselves. And
I agree. And there's ones that are brand new to the game, and I just don't know. And I personally know so many of them. That's all where I stand.
yeah,
Because I think that it's different when we get bids to put the roof on. Obviously, they're competing against each other, and so are the realtors. But when you just pick a realtor, and I'm not going to say, please, no offense, if you sold $8 million or $8,000 worth of real estate, I'm not sure which one's better. There's a reason for it, obviously, but I can't judge that. So,
I can. I do it more from a business
well, that's fine.
perspective.
I get it.
So
get-
are you suggesting we actually randomly select one of the top 3? Is that what you're saying?
If we come up with an amount that we like, and then we pick in a random way, that's all I'm saying. If you guys don't like that idea, I'm just one vote. I get it. I'll go with you.
I'd like to pitch something into this.
Well, let Jameson finish whatever
Sorry,
he was
Jameson,
going
made
to
me cut
finish.
you off.
I was just getting clarification. I didn't know if you were using pick from a hat as a euphemism or you actually wanted
Well,
to
it's
pick
kind
from a
of kind of a real pick from a hat, if you will.
hat. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have a fiduciary duty too,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not going to pick from a hat.
Okay.
I mean, and if you got 2 that are that senior in terms of experience
That's
and
fine.
selling, and
Bill, you had something.
I tend to agree with the concept Mickey was articulating. Realty sales sometimes are, for unforeseen reasons, have details that have to be taken care of. They have to be taken care of properly, and they have to be taken care of in a timely way. And a person who is accustomed to dealing with this stuff on a large volume knows how to get that job done. I mean, not to go into all the history of my life, but for a number of years I had a relationship with a lady who was a darn good realtor. I mean, there was a time when they closed the mortgage because she could pick up the phone and get a square of concrete on the front sidewalk in 15 minutes. I mean, it was done within 45 minutes. That had to be done in order to close the deal. It's a simple example, but it illustrates a point. You can have details that trip things up. And I would be more comfortable with something like this in the hands of someone who knows how to take care of those things.
Okay, then, thank you, Bill, I get it, and I see how, oh, I'm sorry, Kevin, would you like to say anything? And then we'll go through it.
I believe we can, that sellers can negotiate with sales agents, and that might be the best way to see who would offer the service for the best price, and that would be best for the taxpayers.
Very good, and I also noticed one out of the whole group had the lowest percent. I mean, it makes sense. I get it, you guys. I understand. So now, on this action item for tonight, how is it that we are going to pick the one? How did you guys come up, when you came to this meeting, did you guys have an individual? And for this action item to get closed tonight, I mean, this is not something we then go back and table and come back with the answer next meeting, correct? Derek?
I mean, what you could do is have somebody make a motion for their top individual firm or whatever, and then see if it has the support and move forward in that direction, if that could get the conversation going. But I know.
Okay, should we go with the lowest? Now, is it business sense? I did read that one of them had the lowest percent that they would remove for their commission. Did you catch that?
Yeah, but the top two selling, one said 6 or 4%. If they're the dual agent, then it would be 4%. The other one said 4% or 3% if she's a dual agent. And when you do the math, like if you get one of the top two sellers to get you a better price, that's going to pay for that extra percent on the sales commission.
Yeah, if we're going to follow Mickey's philosophy, then I align with what you just said. I think, and I did by default pick two of the top sellers. Those would have been my choices, but I can narrow it down to one if you want me to make a motion that says, to pick one, or however you guys want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, there's one that kind of jumps out at me.
Why don't we say who they are?
Well, Susie said she would do 4%, 3% if she's the dual agent, right, for both the buyer and seller. Kim said 6%, 4% for dual agent. Kim sold more, but it was over a period of 7 years. Susie told us what she sold over 5 years. Both are really impressive amounts.
So it sounds like Susie has a slightly lower commission and is selling just as much as, selling more than all the other agents, so.
So you guys pick
That
it
would be
then.
my
You
pick.
tell me how you want to do this then.
I would feel comfortable with either one. I think Susie came in her offer a little bit better.
Susie,
Armiak.
Miss Armiak? Okay, well,
Draper.
if you guys want to, does somebody want to make a motion and we'll vote on it?
So we're voting on one person then?
I guess is that what we're going to do? then?
That's
If
what
I
this
move-
action item is designed to do.
It's designed to have one in there only, yes.
I move that we retain the services of Susie Armiak.
Second.
Okay, so that would
I'd like to
be
discuss this.
the friendly amendment. Do we need a friendly amendment? I say yes, that's fine, even though I read it and there's no name.
Well,
That's not a friendly amendment.
she made an amendment. I seconded her amendment. You still have to accept it.
Sure, I accept it. You guys don't like my idea, that's fine. I'm kidding.
I like your idea.
Softy, that's why.
Well, I know so many people and I thought that was fair is a bad idea, okay?
I need to get 2 cents
I
in
don't
on
think
this
it's a
one.
bad idea. I really don't.
Okay. Bill, you have a comment though. Will you
Yeah, I
second?
have a point.
Go ahead, sir.
At this point, I'm saying as a suggestion, why don't we interview both of them and see what we think about what we see about how they bring it off? Either one is probably competent, and it would be a little more fair than just doing it this way. I would be more comfortable putting this off for a couple of weeks, and I don't think it'll do any harm to wait.
I think it does harm to wait. I
Yeah,
think
we want to put this up, but it appears that you guys did pick the lowest, correct? Mickey?
What's the harm in waiting? I want to know what that is.
Well, the harm in waiting, I guess there's no harm in waiting,
Well,
but there's
the
no harm
longer
in
we,
moving.
the longer we keep this on our books, the more money that we don't have. So
Oh.
the faster we can sell the home, the better it is for the township and the taxpayers.
And I wanna
I'm
get the
tactfully
vac-
suggesting that by making the choice we like the best, it might be more rapid than 2 weeks that we get it.
Yeah, I think they're so close together, Bill. I think they're both equally fabulous. Mickey's talking
I don't
about,
disagree that either one of them would have the capability.
But Susie's giving us 1% off.
Yeah, she came in lower. I honestly think both of these ladies are absolutely amazing, that we won't have an issue with either one.
Okay.
Susie did just give a
Let's,
better offer.
then let's do this. We have a motion on the floor. We can not take it or take it. And then we can, we have a second, and we had our conversation on it. So let's vote then. Let's vote on this item.
I have a question. Is this the lowest cost provider?
Yeah, apparently it is. You mean
Out of
commission?
Commission,
Commission, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's
apparently.
4%. And some
out
the
of
other
all
ones
of all of those folks?
Yeah.
It's 4%. Somebody came in at 3%. But the bottom line is, if they get more for the house, then that can more than make up for that 1%.
Who came in at 3%?
Jennifer Kish.
I think it's worth talking to the person that came in with the lowest cost.
I mean, I'm not for interviews. I think we select somebody tonight based on what they submitted.
I agree, and I think, when you're coming in here, we all need to be prepared. So you need to know exactly who is at what percentage, who you prefer over what realtor, et cetera, in order to provide that information and to be able to vote properly.
Just as a point of order, I believe Kish's proposal, in regards to commission, our office charges our sellers a 3% commission on the listing side. I think as it relates to Miss Armiak, her listing side commission is 2%.
I apologize, Derek, you're right. I was reading my notes fast, so she would be the equivalent of 6%
Right.
compared to.
With regards to the, 2% versus 3%. With regards to Miss Armiak, if she's the listing and the selling agent,
Yeah.
it's 1.5 and 1.5, or a total of 3%
Yes.
versus a
Yeah, so
normal
I apologize for that.
5%.
I thought I read that I didn't want to bring that up again, but I thought she was the lowest. Is that correct? That is correct.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Armiak is the lowest?
Yeah, she is the lowest then, Kevin. Okay, sorry. I mean,
So there was a motion, and then there was an amendment with a second to add.
And I accept
Susie,
that.
and he accepted it. So the motion now has Susie Armiak, Realty at MBA, right? MBA.
I don't know where she's out of.
She's out.
Yes, I believe you're
MBA.
correct.
So there's no longer a blank.
Okay, all right. Then she's in there, so for this,
Point of order, just to full transparency, Miss Armiak is 2% or 1.5, so it'd be a total of 3% as listing and selling. There are others that are at 2% as the listing agent. Bragaden, Khalif, are the two others that are at 2%, but they didn't provide the same dual agency discount as Miss Armiak.
And they don't
So,
have her
which-
sales numbers.
Right,
So just full transparency.
thank you,
right.
Derek. Are we good and ready to vote then?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do this. Get my glasses here. So that would be action item number 4. Okay, let me go back. To Realtor Services, RFQ award. It would be to Miss Armiak. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion has carried. Ms. Armiak will have the listing. Okay. Cell Tower Consultant RFQ Award.
I've got that one.
Margaret has that one.
Oh, no worries. Part of the problem is my writing is so bad that when you ask me questions, I gotta figure out what I wrote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'd like to recommend request for approval, the Cell Tower Consultant RFQ Award. The Groseal Township Board hereby approves Urban Wireless Solutions as the township's provider of cellular, legal, and tower lease consulting services.
So I'll second.
Thank you. Recently, the township issued RFPs for the provision of legal services for telecommunications-related issues, cell tower lease negotiations. Multiple proposals were received, interviews were scheduled and conducted with various firms. The implementation schedule is upon approval. The financial impact is budgeted as professional services.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, were you done?
No, that's
I
it.
want to didn't want to interrupt you. Any questions for Derek or Margaret, or actually anybody? Anybody have any questions or concerns?
No, I think we interviewed them. Urban Wireless was the only full service vendor that really seemed to be hitting all the marks we were looking for, and I
Yes.
think they're also one of the most affordable. So
Okay.
that's the way we ought to go.
I think they were really impressive. I was really surprised by his knowledge.
Yeah, they covered all the bases. I think it was, I did appreciate the other firm as well. I thought they handled themselves well, but I think when it came to experience, background, the depth of knowledge, Urban outweighed the other legal
I like,
team.
too, that they could tell us where coverage is always dropped on the cell phones, that he might be able to give us some advice on that
Yes.
as well.
I thought that was a very big bonus, and I think if that's possible, I think a lot of residents would be very, very thankful.
All right, very good. Thank you to all on that one. So the action item, I'm sorry, it's action item number 5.
I don't think we can vote without Kevin present. Everyone has to vote. That's president.
Really?
Okay.
You can't abstain from a vote.
Well, you gotta say you're abstaining, right? If you're gonna do it.
You
And
can-
Okay, yeah,
you
treasurer
have to
just
read.
stepped out for 1 second, so we will,
Okay, while we're waiting,
would you,
He's coming back right now.
that's fine.
Joe, just.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Bill, you have something?
Well, yeah, I happened to look at the map that I'd seen on cell tower coverage and ended up calling Verizon, the people that provide it. And they were very helpful in helping me to get better cell service for my cell phone at my house and also for the house itself
Mm-hmm.
at no charge. If we found a way to, in going through this, inform our public about how they can cooperate with their cell phone providers, that might also facilitate more satisfaction in these weak signal areas.
Okay.
It's really good they were able to help. Yeah.
All right, number 5, cell tower consultant RFQ award to Urban Wireless. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Number 5 passes. Number 6, I will take that. Groseal Township Board hereby authorizes the scheduling of interviews with consultants Plant Moran and Ryman Group to review their proposals for an entrance audit for the Township of Groseal. I'm sorry, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, sir. We discussed this in a previous study session, and we came up with, we weren't sure exactly what they had for us, but we liked Plant Moran and Ryman's numbers and abilities. So this is why we picked them for tonight. So any questions or concerns on only the interviews? This is just to interview. This is not even, and I will say this, if we interview, and maybe there's some on this board right now that feel, why even interview if, I get it.
Oh, I feel-
Yeah, no, I get it, but
Yeah.
we don't know what we don't know, and that's why I thought if we just interview, maybe there's something that we're gonna find that we were surprised. But if the vote goes through to interview, it goes. If the vote doesn't, then it dies right here, and it's over. So just so everybody knows that, everybody understands how we're doing that. Okay, any questions or any concerns from the board?
Just that I think we have a better use of the funds on a lot of different projects. So,
Okay.
I also, so my concern was when the Yo and Yo auditor was here and Trustee Mills asked the question about entrance audits. If I understood her correctly, this entrance audit, you would have to be specific. Like, they just don't go and audit anywhere. You have to provide them an area to look for. Is that correct?
Can
Not
I-
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trustee Mills asked about a forensic
Oh,
audit.
forensic, so that's when you get more
Correct.
specific. Okay, okay. And this is not forensic then, yes? This
It is not forensic. It
Okay.
it is looking at everything.
So
And
it just,
getting an understanding of all our internal control processes,
Okay.
all our policies and procedures, and testing transactions for a designated period of time.
so it's amped up of what we already do.
Teresa, can I just add one thing, and not to go against what anybody's saying, but it can be forensic if while they're going through this, they find, let's just say they find something. Forensic doesn't always mean a criminal element. It's the investigation of something that they're looking for that may not have been correct. But it doesn't mean that that's what we're looking for here. But Ryman told me they will call it an entrance audit, and that's what they call it. But if they find something, then it does change the game a little bit. I just want to make sure I'm correct. I don't want to mislead, and I don't want to say no, absolutely not. Would you
That's
agree with
correct.
that statement? Okay. Thank you then.
It seems to me that this is a good idea to undertake. We would learn from these things, and when you learn, you become more efficient, you become better, more effective.
Well, I have no problem interviewing, but I'm still teetering. I'm sorry, I have to be honest with all of you. And it's not, and I know, Mickey, you're gonna say, well, don't waste my time. I get that.
I got a lot to do.
No, you may, then you know, you don't have to be on the interview committee. I'm just saying, you got a
Right.
lot to do, I get it.
Right.
But I don't know what I don't know, and this is something that I have no problem asking the questions, and if we're done with it and we say, you know, when I talked to Teresa and we're not feeling it, do you know what I mean? Then it's done. Then it's over. But if we vote it on tonight, it moves forward. If we don't, it ends. So that would be action item number 6. Approval to interview Ryman and the Ryman Group and Plant Moran. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say no.
No,
Hey.
No.
Okay. So this means, thank you, people. This means that we won't be interviewing. Okay, are we good?
Yep.
Everybody good? We're not interviewing, it's over.
So how many,
It's 3-2, no. 3-2.
who voted no?
Me.
Could we do a
Myself.
voice vote, please?
Yeah. What would you like, a roll call?
Roll call, please.
Okay, let's do that. Margaret?
no,
Kevin?
Yes.
Joe, yes. I'm sorry, Jameson?
No.
And Mickey?
No.
And Bill?
Yes,
Okay, so it is still,
3-2, or
No.
whatever.
It's 3-3, but you need 4
you need 4 to pass, it's still no. Okay. No, that's fine. You guys, you're the board, you make the decisions and we vote and we move on. Okay, so that means there will be no interviews they weren't notified of anything, were they? Because we had to vote first. So
So-
we don't need to say anything.
I'm sorry, did Mark ask for this, because he had talked to me, I thought he was gonna ask for it to be tabled, but maybe he didn't? Did he just express his,
No, he asked,
He wanted it
well,
approved.
first he was going to be here by a certain time, and then unfortunately I got a text.
saying he
He got a
couldn't?
flat tire on the road, and
Oh,
he
geez.
showed it to me. And it tore up his trailer, and he says
Oh,
he's not coming tonight, so we continue doing business.
Okay,
Okay, we good? Okay. All right, let's see who's next. I think, Mickey, you've agreed to do 7.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm making the motion, says the Groseal Township Board hereby authorize the scheduling of interviews with consultants Yo and Yo, Riemann Group, and Gallagher Benefit Services to review their proposals for employee compensation consulting services.
second?
So this is when we talk quite a bit about where we want to look at everyone's compensation and benefits and actually separately, right? And see, you know, where our employees stand in terms of benchmarking And these three, I thought they did a nice job in their proposals, so we're just voting to schedule the interviews for them.
Okay, this is just for the interviews once again. Any questions, any concerns? Okay, approval of interviews of consultants for salary survey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carried, okay? How do we get those? What would you like to do, Derek, on
You'll
that?
probably hear from Margie. She'll try to coordinate it with the contractors or the vendors, and then coordinate it with you and try to find a time that's
Okay.
amenable for everybody.
All right, very good.
Yep.
All right, next on the agenda is a discussion item for, we've been going through this a few times for purchasing and our bid policy.
Would it be possible to table this or talk about it at the next meeting when Mr. Mills is here? This is one of the
I have no.
Yeah, and really, this is just an update more than anything. I have taken the items that were discussed at the last meeting, the suggestions, incorporated those into a draft policy. I believe Ms. Bartlett received a copy. I believe the supervisor received a copy, and I believe the treasurer received a copy. So just wanted to let you know that we're going to be having ongoing conversations about those modifications, and then we can put it back on the agenda for a discussion at our next meeting to go over those modifications, and then also the input received from those three individuals.
All right. Okay, so Kevin has requested that the rest of this be tabled tonight. I have no problem with that. Thank you for the update, Derek, and we'll go from there. Anybody else? I mean, any concerns? I mean, this is not that it's not pressing, but I think for Mark to be here is a good idea. Obviously, we saw what happened tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So we good with that? So we'll
Yes.
move on?
Hey, Joe, I did look at that, and it does need some more changes, just like
Okay.
we're, some minor things, so
All
it's
right.
probably good that we're delaying it.
Okay. Yep. Let's go
Okay.
to the reports. Jameson, clerk's report.
So it's been a busy month already. I guess not for the clerk's department. Maybe a little busy for the clerk's department, but busy for me. First thing was the Association of Wayne County Clerks brunch, which was last Wednesday. I think, Brian, it was Wednesday, wasn't it? Okay. And Brian and Elena ran a pretty good program. We hosted it over at Grosse Ile Yacht Club. There's 75 clerks or clerk adjacent people from Wayne County there. And everybody had great things to say about Grosse Ile and about the job that Brian and Elena did. So great job, Brian. Please express my thanks to Elena as well. And then Derek gave opening remarks, and they were really good. Like, Derek crushed it. So honestly, I'm not trying to toot your horn or anything. You did a great job. He talked about some things I didn't even know, like that Grosse Ile, isn't just, I guess I knew, but I don't really think about much, is Grosse Ile isn't just Grosse Ile. It's actually 12 islands. Some of the challenges we face here as a governing unit that people on the mainland just don't face, right? So it was good. BPAC is going to meet this Thursday. We're continuing on our e-bike efforts. We put together a subcommittee for that with some pretty qualified individuals on it. So I think we'll be seeing some movement on that. Rec met on October 2nd. One of the discussion items was pickleball. So we understand that there's a strong desire for pickleball here in Grosse Ile. The Community Recreation Commission has noted that as well and is looking at options to be able to provide some top-notch pickleball area or court, I guess it's called. I don't play pickleball. Court, probably.
Kitchen. It's called the kitchen.
Because it's a pickle.
No, it is. That's
terrible.
It's called the kitchen.
Biss and boo.
All right, keep going. I'm sorry.
Anyway, so there's more to come on pickleball. We've heard the community's efforts in that regard. And then one thing that I've been talking to some community members about for some time now. So probably 2 years ago on the previous board, we essentially adopted an ordinance completely banning short-term rentals in Grosse Ile. And that was a needed ordinance at the time. I think it made sense. And government does that a lot where sometimes there's something going on that you just need to put an end to it. And that's what we did. I'm not sure that's a right size ordinance at this point. I think short-term rentals do fill a need. They bring in commerce, they bring in tax revenue, but just like anything else, you know, if you have too much of it or it goes off the rails, it can be a bad thing. So talking with some other community members, it's apparent that a means of having short-term rentals, but controlling the short-term rentals would fill a niche here in the community, but also give the township the ability to prevent them where they become problematic. So I think a short-term rental ordinance modification, or at least, you know, review is in order, where maybe we look at something like licensing and taxing and ensuring those licenses are revocable if there's problems with them. So that's something I'm kind of interested in. If any other board members want to discuss that with me or their concerns, I haven't talked to anybody else on the board about it yet. So, but that's something that's been bubbling up towards coming to me. You know, people they want to be able to do that kind of stuff here, and it makes sense. It's a beautiful vacation-y type place. So, and that concludes my report.
Okay.
I'll talk to you about that one.
Kevin, treasury
Okay.
report.
Treasurer's report for October 13th, 2025. The summer tax bill due date of September 15th, 2025 has now passed. We have collected 96% of the tax roll. We continue to collect late 2025 summer tax bills at Township Hall beginning September 16th. A 1% per calendar month penalty has been added to any unpaid summer tax balances. Summer taxes can be paid to Grosville Township until February 28th, 2026. After that date, all unpaid taxes, summer and winter, become delinquent and then must be paid directly to Wayne County for further penalty. And I'd also like to say I missed a last meeting while I was in Pittsburgh helping my wife with her 88 and 89-year-old parents. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Trustees report. Margaret, you want to go first?
Okay. Police Department, the chief interviews will be at the Public Safety Training Room on October 14th, starting at 6 p.m. This is a study session, so it will follow the Open Meetings Act, but is an interview, and as such will be held with an intent that the respect it deserves. So we're maintaining that everybody understand that this is an interview. It's not going to allow for any discussion or questions of those that are being interviewed. Again, we also have a commission meeting on October 21st as well. That's the following week. The Communications Department. So when I initially ran for this position, I supported the idea of reestablishing the Communication Commission, and I've discussed this previously, but it sounds like it needs to, be talked about again. After stepping into the role and working closely with our communications manager, Mr. Friel, we found that at this time, the communications can effectively be managed in-house. So Mr. Friel and I communicate multiple times a week regarding our communication strategy and the execution of it. We've streamlined the website. We've relaunched the e-newsletter. I've mentioned that unfortunately we could not do a mailer because it's extremely expensive. We've made significant progress in overall outreach to the community. In fact, I've heard from a lot of residents personally about how pleased they are with the improvements in our communications and especially with that e-newsletter. I want to give a thank you to Mike and Lori who handle our video work. They were at the parade this past Friday, and interestingly enough, that will go on GITV as well. So I just want to be sure our residents are clear because I know there was confusion. A couple people have mentioned it to me. We do have a communications department, and in fact, the full board approved its budget earlier this year. And while we can't necessarily do all of the things that we'd like to do based on the budget because we are fiscally responsible, there are things that we have planned and that we will determine what we can support within our budget. Just as an example, again, we've rolled out the GI newsletter. We extended support to commissions. I've talked to all commissions. I've talked with township staff. All the board members have been advised that they're welcome to participate. We do a deep dive, or have been doing a deep dive on Code Red and how each department handles it. And again, the cell tower legal support is something that I helped to initiate. So I just want to make clear that, we are working hard and there's no balls are being dropped here. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. William?
I sit on the Airport Commerce Park Commission, and as we heard earlier tonight, there's concerns about what will happen with the big old hangar that we have. They're working to find a new person there. I know a little bit about that. I don't feel at ease disclosing that, but I think Joe has mentioned too, he knows that things are in progress. We'll have to see what happens. The devil's always in the details with these kinds of things. We hope that something can be successfully arranged, I'm sure. The Planning Commission, well, we just sent them a little bit more work tonight. They'll look at this and come back with something later. They have good people there, and we're lucky to have them. That's my report.
Thank you, sir. Miss Mickey?
This will be the first time mine is quick. Open space, next meeting, November 4th. We're continuing to work on encroachment and other issues. Fire Commission, their next meeting is November 13th. I just wanted to comment that at their open house, Riverview loaned us their smokehouse, which is a trailer where they can actually put smoke through it. And it looks like a little house. It's got a little living room and everything. And the kids were going through the living room and they were teaching them to crawl in case of smoke. And the one little boy was so cute because he was doing the marine crawl. I'm like, no, you're going to get carpet burn. But it was a really nice way to teach them what to do in case there's ever a fire in their house. So that's it for me.
You set? All right. Derek, Township Manager's Report.
Good evening, Mr. Supervisor and members of the board. Just real quick, DPS Commission has a meeting tomorrow in this room at 7 o'clock. The Bridge Commission will be having their meeting in this room on Wednesday of this week at 6 o'clock. A couple of different things we're going to be discussing at that meeting. A proposed bridge ordinance. The toll bridge, when it was operated as a private entity, the owner basically set rules and regulations for the bridge. As a governmental entity, we have to establish those rules and regulations through ordinances. So we're going to be discussing that as a group about what things need to be included within that ordinance. And a lot of feedback from the existing bridge operators and the things that they've witnessed will be taken into consideration for that ordinance. So that should be a good conversation. I will tell you that your bridge commissioners are doing an excellent job. We have a meeting with our engineers every other week to receive updates on our engineering for our bridge construction project. Those plans are currently at their 30% completion point. So those plans are well on their way to moving forward with that construction project. And your commissioners have been engaged. The majority of them have been sitting in on those meetings and have been asking some very good questions of our engineers to make sure that they have a thorough understanding of that proposed project, and also making sure that the engineers are staying on their toes. You have some very qualified, educated people on that commission that are asking all the right questions. So it's been a pleasure to work with them so far, and looking forward to working with them in the future. And hopefully some of you can attend, and the residents can attend on Wednesday, because you'll be able to see firsthand how effective they've been. As far as the DPS department, there are going to be some maintenance. There's going to be some maintenance work that's going to be done on some of our concrete roads over the next couple of weeks. We have a crack sealing contract where that vendor will be mobilizing and doing that work primarily in the middle of the island. on various roads that need crack sealing. It's an important preventative maintenance item that we do annually as funds allow. So we'll get a code read out with regards to that on those exact roads that we're going to be working on once we finalize that with the contractor. And then concrete work on interior roads continues. The next round of work will likely be in the center of the island, right around Park Lane and Parkway in that area. And we'll continue to do concrete work as our budget allows and as the construction season allows us as far as weather goes. So with that, that concludes my report, with the exception of Teresa had something she wanted to mention for you.
So last Tuesday, the state of Michigan finally passed their fiscal year 2026 budget. A little bit of good news and some not so good news. So there was no change to the statutory revenue sharing, but there was a decrease to our constitutional revenue sharing, mostly because of the decrease in their sales tax revenue. They're going to have a decrease of $69 million. So what that means for Grosse Hill Township is that overall our state revenue sharing is going to decrease by $54,000. So keeping in mind that our fiscal year end is March 31st, the state's fiscal year end is September 30th, that decrease will impact, a portion of it will be this fiscal year and another portion will be in the next fiscal year. They did institute a new public safety revenue sharing grant. It's actually based on our violent crime data between 2020 and 2022. So the good news is that in 2020 we had 1 incident, in 2021 we had none, and in 2022 we had 4. So the grant amount for the police department is going to be $2,222.
Damn safe.
I guess a can of gas for the generator.
No.
All right.
I can't believe that.
That's it? You're good? All right. My report tonight, I'd like to thank everyone on my entire list. Everyone hit it. The only one that I have left is obviously Meridian is done now. I'm not sure, Derek, if you stated that. I was writing my notes. But they striped it. It looks good. The best thing about it is the county paid for the entire project. So I want to thank them again for that. I just want to reiterate, though. Jameson talked about the BPAC committee and the e-bikes. They are going to come up with something. I have been researching and helping them out. And I think I've come up with a couple of additions we can add to an ordinance that would make things much safer for all. So we're going to work together on that. Also, Island Athletics, Bill hit, and I already said at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again, that we are in negotiations with an individual, and hopefully that will come to fruition. That's all that I'm going to get on that one for right now. But thank you, Bill, for all your input on that. So that's all I have for tonight. And with that, any of you guys want to come up? No? Okay. Nobody's coming up? All right, I need a... Yeah, he said in the beginning. I think he had... Did you have another email, Brian? I'm sorry. Did you have...
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. All right.
I do have a question.
Sure.
If there's a commission issue, when do we bring that up?
Commissioner, what kind of issue, and that would determine what we're looking at.
I have a comment on the Communication Commission.
We can meet, we can talk, a couple of us can talk if you like. I'm not sure what your
Well,
question is.
I'd like to straighten out some misinformation that was put out on Facebook and other places.
Would you like to have a meeting?
I'd like to actually present it right here.
Either way,
Okay.
I have no problem with,
We don't usually do that.
The Communication Commission is not just about overseeing a newsletter or social media. The purpose of the Communications Commission is to develop and oversee a budget, strategies, policies, and content priorities for a comprehensive communication program for the township using all medium mediums of communication, including cable TV, GITV, website, social media, print, newsletter, e-newsletter, electronic messaging, cell phone notifications, print media, advertising, articles for print media, direct mail, etc. The Communication Commission is comprised of members of the community to ensure that the Township Communications Program is meeting the needs and expectations of a majority of islanders while providing a regular, consistent forum for all members of the community to offer input. The updated community, or the updated, actually the ordinance, and I think this is the important part. The ordinance says the commission is to ensure the township communications media remain politically neutral and unbiased in content, encourage equitable access to publicly owned communication media by appropriate institutions, groups, and individuals within the township. And we passed on, the board voted on November 10th of 2025 to have a communications commission, and the ordinance was amended. And at this time, we do not have a communications commission. And unless I missed something at a meeting where it was decided that the communications commission would include just 2 people, I think that there's a problem with that. And I would like to see the communications commission put through as it should be.
All right, sir.
5 members
Why don't we do
of
this?
the public.
If you're agreeable to this, obviously these questions aren't able to be answered right now. How about we have a study session or a meeting? What's your pleasure?
I think we can bring it up as an action item at the next meeting.
I'm happy to do that. We can bring up an action item to not have a communications commission. And if everybody on the board is in agreement with that, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, I think what we're gonna need to do is, one way or another, then, we need to talk about this.
I agree with that.
There was a reason that I'm not gonna get into it, but why the communications department is being run as it is right now. I think that we do need to speak on this. We need to have dialogue. So we have one that would like an action item not to have it, and one an action item to have it. When we can't have both action items at once, should we meet? Would you guys like to meet during the week? And
I would like it discussed in an open public meeting so that the public can hear what an individual, Trustee Shelton, unilaterally, and Mr. Field, I believe, unilaterally decided not to put the commission together.
So again, you're creating confusion and misinformation for the public. That's not accurate.
That's what I read on your Facebook page.
So I would
Hold on,
point
hold
out,
on.
this is not a topic
You
on
couldn't
this
have.
meeting.
Yeah, this
right?
isn't,
So we
not.
can't discuss it. Kevin, you can say, you could put that out, we can consider that part of your report, right? But
Yeah,
nobody
let's
can
do that.
rebut him.
Can I offer a thought here?
that can
No,
be,
you
hold on,
can't,
hold on.
This is
Sorry,
not
they're
a
mad.
topic.
Everybody, hold on. Everybody, Jameson is correct. That is part of your report. I have no problem with that. That's why I said we're gonna have to either meet, we can go over it in Township Hall, which I have no problem. We can do it at a study session. I have no problem. I'm just asking, we cannot talk about it in depth tonight. You asked to speak, that is no problem.
Thank
You
you.
can just add that, we count that as just adding it to your report. No big deal. So, what's the next step for the board?
I'm suggesting a study session, a chance to talk about it and just get some ideas and think. I don't think we're gonna solve this in a 10-minute whatever.
Okay, can we,
Or just a discussion item, right?
Yeah, we
on the
could
agenda.
do an action item on the agenda for the next meeting. You do a discussion item, you can have a
just a
study session.
discussion, I don't think a study session would, we could fill a study session with it, but that's a whole separate meeting. How about we put Brian, just in a discussion item next meeting? and we'll put, just topic it as communications department, whatever,
Commission, please.
commission, whatever. Because Jameson, you are correct, that we can't, and that was my point, trying to say it politely, that we can't get into it tonight or answer these questions. So that's what we'll do. We good? Then I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned at 8:49.